Finally, we get to see a Terran player in this tournament. We have had nothing but PVZs, but now Cure really disrupting it up.
Oh, is that a tell?
Maybe, or it might not be. Here we are, start off our grand finales over here on Def Aura LE. We're here in the top left-hand corner map, fighting all the way to the top left-hand corner. The red Terran player, he is going to be coming down from South Korea, not opting for a wall-off in his main base. So we'll see what he gets done. He's going to go for the Proxy Light. He's going to go for the Proxy, representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, DPG. And what may just about be our first ever team kill finals in ESL Asia, well, at least for DPG, he is Cure.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Def Aura LE, we have one of the best Protoss players in the world, representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, DPG, in this team kill, currently getting proxied. We have the Protoss player, Zest.
Cure is just, look, I waited a long time for this. Let's just get it over with.
Oh god, yeah, poor Cure. He's been waiting a long time. Like, he's just been sitting there just watching some K-dramas. He's like, oh, I got a game, let's just get this over with, man. I'm in the middle of a K-drama, right? I want to keep watching.
I need to know what happens to Detective Max Angel in the next episode.
Oh god,
will he save Gemini?
Will he? Will he? It's hard to say. Oh god, will he get there in time? Oh boy, as we do have this proxy, and Zest, like, he is out of the map. He's actually looking to throw down his own.
Oh. This is what happens when we put them both in the same team, Light.
Oh boy.
I don't think it was a smart move at all. Pure chaos. And now Rogue is in that team as well. I can see all of the influence.
What have we right? What have we done? What have we done? As the pylon is going down, but I want to favor Cure right now, right? Like, Cure, this has gone unscattered. It is like the army is slowly getting bigger and bigger, and Zest is investing his tech in the center of the map. Oh,
he's gonna be hitting so much harder. Oh, the most opportune rally for Zest Probe. He was trying to go back on home, and yeah, it does see the 3 racks over here.
Yeah, and
honestly, with that, what's the word I'm thinking of here? Like, Stargate in the middle of the map, he can rally back on home.
He could, but he does cancel in the end. He needs everything at home to defend. He's throwing down as many defensive structures as possible. Meanwhile, Cure, his attack was triggered as soon as he was spotted, and the boys are pulled.
Yeah, unfortunately, shield battery's not quite up yet. The Adepts are going to do quite well to target down these SCVs, so no bunkers are going to be built here for Cure. And this is a very dedicated proxy coming out from Cure. This is not just a single racks coming in and then he built up some factories back at home. No. This is a 3 racks with concussive shells. Cure is so all in. He pulled his boys. He needs to end the game.
That he is. Like, he's waiting for the moment to bring the boys in to get a surround on the Adepts so then he can focus everything down. He's just waiting, and now maybe he sees an opportunity. He goes in.
And he's pouncing right on top of these Adepts. The SCV's buying him enough time. Not the best target firing I've seen from Zest.
And in the end, only one Adept does survive, but the shield battery is in range of the Nexus. Overcharge is being used. The boys are being pulled, and Zest is trying desperately to hold on for that Immortal to pop out.
Yeah, he's chronoing it out as quickly as he can. Not a lot of bio here, just a handful of Marines and 2 Marauders. Immortals are gonna absolutely shred through the Marauders, and there's just not enough of a mass of Marines here that can really, you know, chip away at the defense of the Immortals yet.
And you know what? It's not just the Immortal. Warp Gate just finished up as well, so now Zest can throw down or warp in a couple of reinforcements, and now it's gonna be so much harder for Cure to really do anything as he only has two workers. Oh god. Beautiful
force field here. He only has 1, but that's all he needs. GG is called. Zest gonna be taking that game. Cue the Spider-Man meme, .jpg.
GG, well played. Cure opening up with a very strong proxy, but Zest was able to scout it just in time to throw down the response and get ready for it.
Absolutely. A second later, and Cure would have had and Cure wouldn't have pulled the trigger yet. He was massing up his bio units over at that proxy location because he needs a hit with enough forces to basically start two-shotting the units that Zest had.
Mm-hmm.
And when he went in there, he didn't quite have them. You know, he had to sustain damage onto Zest units and Zest buildings for a little while, buys enough time for Zest to get a battery overcharge out for those shield batteries, right? To start healing up the units, making sure that they don't die. And yeah, just every time Cure isn't killing something is another second that Zest is using to get his higher tech units out, to finish up his warp gate, to get that immortal, to get a force field out, and that was what really was the nail in the coffin.
Oh yeah, definitely. And that is why as soon as that went down, GG was called, and Cure, he just couldn't whip it out in the end. He couldn't close it out. But we'll see what we have in store for us in game number 2. Mate, are we gonna see another proxy?
Definitely. I just don't know from whom.
From whom or from both?
That's a possibility. That's a very real possibility right now. On Romanticide, LE. LE, of course, standing for Lovers Enunciation. Lovers Enunciation. That's when you, whatchamacallit. Here in the bottom right-hand corner, map spawning all the way in the bottom right-hand corner. Not going for a proxy this time is our Red Terran player coming from the land of South Korea. He has been waiting so long for these finals. And now, see what he gets done. Representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, DPG, he is Cure.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Romanticide LE, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, also representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, DPG. It is Zest.
Neither of them proxying this time. They are holding the sacred, they are holding Romanticide sacred.
I am disappointed. Oh god, how dare they both open up without any proxy whatsoever. We do see Zest is actually looking for one, just in case there happens to be a rack somewhere out there on the map. But Cure just playing this out straight up.
Oh, will he?
Huh. Interesting.
Marine first, completely skipping out in Reapers. He has one gas at the moment, I believe. Yeah, just a single gas, so not gonna be any sort of insane, like, Hellbat drops. Could still be a Hellion drop.
Yeah, really interesting here. Again, a bit of a gamble, I would say, especially like based off of how weird game 1 was for Cure to give up on that Reaper, to give up on the scouting information. He's really rolling the dice and relying on Zest to play this straight up.
Yeah, and he's trying to reactor the barracks and get his factory out. He's building a bunker as well. So initially I thought maybe he's going to swap these add-ons around, just go for some mass mines
Hellions.
Potentially. Or Hellions. Yeah, Hellions are mines, really. But he does need to fill that bunker up with Marines, and Cure's looking for the proxy, but just about missing it.
Wow, just barely on the wrong side of that shrubbery. He does not see the proxy, but he is looking to... Is he going to proxy the starport?
Starport! And that's absolutely ideal. There we go! This is a Hellion drop light.
It is. Is it ideal? We'll see, because again, like, as you were saying, there is only one Marine in this bunker, so there are very minimal defenses, and Cure is investing a lot in this harassment. So potentially, because of Zest's forward gateway, like, Zest could deal some damage.
I tell you what, Adepts, they do decently better against Hellions, and Hellions do to Adepts, funnily enough. I believe it's because Hellions don't start with armor.
Zest is gonna run into it. I mean, Cure.
And he sees it. He has to be defensive now. He did finish up that starport over on the other side. Can get, there we go. Couldn't get the medevac. So instead, he switches up his game plan, goes for Banshees instead. Nice little adaptation here from Cure.
Yeah, definitely. I love it all. Just barely closes the door in the face of Zest. Keeps the Adepts out. And as you said, I love the transition here. The pivot of a Cure was opting to go for something, but was denied it. So he goes for something else. Goes for the Banshee.
Absolutely ideal. Nice little snipe here coming out from Cure. Or from Zest, rather, onto Cure.
Oh, God. A lot of the Hellions are going down. This is getting kind of scary because what does Cure really have to defend? Like, even if the Widowmine comes out, there's only one shot available for it. Oh god.
Yeah, and it's not too difficult to really evade that or to just try to get it sniped out. Well, maybe not if you are trying to use an Injured Adept.
Oh
But
god.
yeah, I don't really see this Widowmine doing too much. Cure just trying to buy himself some time for the Siege Tank. The Banshee is going to come out. It's going to be interesting to see if he brings it back home, as, you know, he's about to finish up Cloak and Zest doesn't have any detection, or if he just says, you know what, I need to equalize the mining damage, the economic damage.
Yeah, we'll see what he decides to do. Okay, ooh, the tank finally does come out, and with the tank, he should be able to push Zest away for now anyway. And speaking of, the Banshee does finish up, and he's just banking them up. He's just waiting. Oh, no, there we go.
Yeah, Cloak will be finishing up here, and again, the Robo Facility only now finishing up his Zest, so not going to have detection for quite some time. Well, he's getting a shield battery though, and one Banshee, I'm sorry to say, is not enough to one-shot probes.
Yeah, we'll see how much.
Battery's going to keep him alive for quite some time.
Yeah, it's not done yet, so some probe damage will be done, and we'll see how Zest responds to this. Oh, he actually fans out his army, and he finds the proxy.
Is he going to take this out before the second Banshee comes out? That is absolutely going to be crucial. If Zest takes this out, or if he's able to snipe the Banshee as it comes out, then there is no way for Cure to equalize that economic damage. The Banshee does make it out there, pokes just on time, and with some mules, Cure is not in a terrible position, but actually, what happened to the shield? He targeted on the shield battery.
Yeah,
he targeted it down and started attacking the probes. That was absolutely brilliant from Cure.
Yeah, especially because there is that second Banshee. One did fall, but another one should be joining quite shortly to dive in to that mineral line. Meanwhile, the proxy was dealt with by Cure, and now with 3 tanks defensively, it should be perfectly fine.
Really should. No easy way for Zest to come in here. Blink only now starting up. So Cure really doesn't have to worry about that for quite some time. He can focus his forces pretty far forward on the map.
Oh, that he can. Meanwhile, Cure he's struggling to find too much damage with this remaining Banshee, as Zest is securing himself on 2 bases. We do have... Oh, he's trying to expand, however. Cure doing a good job at denying that.
yeah. Right at the last second, just taking that probe out of existence.
That he does, and eventually Zest will take his 3rd base. He will finally get his 3rd up, and we'll see how things go from here as things settle down, right? Like, things were kind of intense there for a while, but both proxies have been dealt with by either player. And what's interesting, or what's a little bit scary, is that Cure, he is getting a pretty terrifying army, like with 4 tanks already.
Indeed, he is. Stim just about starting here for Cure, and under normal circumstances, this would be a little bit late to push out in timing attack, but this is not a normal game that we've seen, Light. And Cure is very, very far ahead in that regard.
Yeah, like there's a lot of potential with his army. Of course, he does have to wait because his stim was delayed by quite a bit. And of course, he would want to hit with +1. But Zest doesn't have too much going for him here. Like, he still only is working off of 4 gateways. Finally, the Forge does finish up so he can start working on his upgrades. Speaking of upgrades, Blink finished up as well. So maybe Zest could be looking to be a little bit aggressive and find some damage. Maybe even diving into the main, which Cure is ready for.
Very much is. Any damage will really be ideal here for Zest. Cure delaying his expansion for quite a while. Not going to be able to get a 3rd base up and running because he is focusing everything on hitting this time and attack. Medevacs are going to come out fairly shortly, and Stim is... Okay, Stim is still a little ways off. But this is a very scary army coming up from Cure. Zest, if he's able to scout this, should be aware that he needs to focus everything on defense, as Cure is not going to be macroing for... or not going to be focusing on his economy for quite some time.
Yeah, I think Zest may have enough information. Like, he just saw that there was no 3rd base. He saw that there was no 3rd CC. Obviously, potentially the 3rd CC is deeper into the main base and Zest is unaware. But yeah, maybe he's seen enough to be like a little bit worrisome. Like, oh my god, my opponent is going to go for a big attack. Regardless, he's going to see the move out.
Or just barely now he sees the move out. And that's pretty far into enemy territory here. He can do one of two things: either try to blink and get some pretty big damage, force Cure into a bit of an all-in, or he could just try to snipe a couple of these things. He goes for the SCVs. Cure wanted to end this game with that SCV pull, but Zest completely disrupting that, even forcing the army to stem and come back home for a little bit.
Like, what a big look again. Like, Cure, he's so indecisive. Like, he's like, oh, should I go back home? Should I not? Should I commit to the attack? Like, Zest is buying so much time.
He very much is. On a map like Romanticide, even pulling your opponent back for a little bit is going to be super, super valuable. Buys you a lot of time. This rush distance snakes around so hard. And Zest, he already worked on getting he's already gotten a couple of his Archons up. He doesn't have the Stalkers back at home, so he is missing a little bit of damage, but honestly, there's not really a lot that Zest can really do to attack this.
Oh, he's going in.
He needs to wait for Cure to unsiege. She's starting to move in now, and this might be a mistake, a little bit of mistiming here, but the Archons, they're soaking up so much tank shot slide, and tanks really don't do much against Archons over here. One of them will survive.
Oh, that's actually huge.
Coming up from Cure.
Yeah, that tank has no right to be alive right now. Zest, he even did a double take. He tried to go back for it, but the Marines came in just in time, and is there enough bio here to break through?
Seems like there should be just enough. The Archons were taken out. There's literally 0 splash damage from Zest. Archons themselves, I mean, even they are unideal when it comes to splash. And it looks like Cure has just about done it. Looks so shaky for him a couple of times. But here we go. GG is called. Cure ties up that series sideways 1-1.
GG, well played. Zest was playing that out so well, but I guess was being a little bit too greedy at home. Like, we did see a couple of like shield batteries being thrown down, but in total I think there were only 3 that were thrown down. And he was still continuing to pump out workers. You could also argue that maybe he figured out what Cure was going for a little bit too late there. Like, he really got confirmation when Cure was pushing out across the map.
Yeah, I think it was definitely the lack of shield batteries hurt him a lot, but also in the final engagement did mistime his flank a little bit. The Stalkers came in just a little bit too late. I mean, already there were a lot of Zealots that were falling to the bio. The tanks didn't really have to, they didn't have their attention or their damage split between 2 fronts like you normally want to happen.
Yeah, and it's not like there was anything pressuring Zest to engage when he did. It's not like there was a moment where Cure had leapfrogged his tanks forward and he was shelling away at a Nexus or something. Like, not really. He was just barely chipping away at the ground army with his tanks. So, yeah, Zest just jumping the gun a little bit too soon there.
Yeah. He really is becoming like Patience.
Oh, no. Oh, he is. He really is. Feels bad, man.
We love your Patience. As we continue these finals, these grande finales on Lightshade LE down here in the bottom right hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom right hand corner. Our red Terran player with that happy star decal. I'm just noticing. Cure is one of the few players who doesn't have just a default decal, apparently. Representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming DPG, we have Cure.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Lightshade LE, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming DPG. It is Zest. Hey.
Once again, no proxies yet. At
any
rate.
What's going on? I was promised the patience. You can see Zest. He's still in that transitionary period. He's not quite full patience, if you will.
Yeah, he's sort of in that metamorphosis. Did start. Okay, cancel. See ya.
Zealot. Yeah, I saw that as well. Yeah. I was like, what? Okay. It was just a little bit paranoid that maybe something was going on, but okay. Did cancel.
Yeah, nothing to really fear for the time being. And so we're just seeing both players go doing fairly standard things here. Actually, I say that, but Cure Not just skipped out on the Reaper this time, skipped out on the Marine.
Mate, Cure does not like
expand.
He does not like Reapers. I don't know what it especially I should say in this matchup. Game number 1, he skipped it, went for Marine first. Game number 2, just didn't get anything out of his racks. Just using it for an add-on.
Huh. And I like that you just completely ignored first game where it was a 3 racks, because yeah.
I forgot about that, yeah, true.
Because I mean that may as well not have been a game. So Cure tried to go for the Hellion drop once again, but this time he will be making it back at home. Does mean that it hits a little bit later, but it's definitely a lot safer.
Yeah, that it is, and we do see Zest. He should get up here, and he confirms what the opener was. He sees the add-ons, he sees the production. Obviously, he knows that there's no Reaper out or anything like that. So, okay, now he has all the information he needs. Oh my!
He does some very nice micro here from Cure. Almost losing that Hellion.
Yeah, and this is quite interesting here because we have a very fast Widowmine drop.
Yeah, he's gonna go for 4. I say 4. Cure.
There we go.
4 mines. And he's going for that armory, full on committing. And the Hellions are starting to move their way across the map. Mostly just gonna get some scouting done and act as a bit of a distraction for Zest stalkers and whatnot. But with the armory, he has the option to turn them into Hellbats.
That he does. Obviously, more importantly, like this Widowmine drop has so much more potential with that armory, forcing your opponent to, you know, make sure they have some kind of detection out on the map. To be fair, Zest does have the robotics facility on the way, and I imagine he will be working on an observer, but will be out in time for this drop, as it does get spotted by the pylon.
Yeah, he started warping a couple of stalkers. Not sure if he has them quite in position yet, though. No, he actually warped them in on the low ground, but he's starting to make his way around. One Widowmine did get dropped in the low ground, trying to waddle around, but there are already stalkers to deal with it.
Oh, detection is already here.
Yeah. So that's actually losing a little bit more than is really ideal.
Wow,
but
yeah.
Still, that was a very heavy investment from Cure. Getting that armory and delaying his natural base was so long to do that. He wanted to get a lot more damage than he did. The Hellbats not really getting much value here. Forced to use them to clear out a pylon.
I mean,
oh no.
They gotta do something, mate. But I 100% agree. Like, Cure invested so much into this drop, and he barely got anything. He got, to be, as you said, he did get a little bit more damage than he should have in the main base. But like now, Zest, he has full map control. He dealt with the drop. He's going in. There is one tank, which is like a bit of a saving grace here for Cure.
But it only now is starting to get siege up. One of the supply depots has been taken out. The Hellbats trying to get something done, but unfortunately will be taken out. Cure is very hard supply blocked.
That he is, and on top of that, like, he's gonna be stuck on one base for so long. Like, Zest is gonna make it his mission to make sure he keeps Cure contained to one base for as long as possible. And I don't know what he does from here. Oh, it looks like there was a bit of a okay, looks like the Widowmine waddled back in and dealt some damage.
Waddle. Almost getting a second one. Cure does not want to have only a single probe being taken out. He's so unsatisfied.
God. He's the micro right now.
Unfortunate, really. Just being very careful with his probes over here. Does not want to lose too many. But honestly, if he doesn't deal with that mine, can always rearm.
Yeah, honestly, this is great for Cure. Like, he needs something to go his way. Like, this is unfortunately this will get cleaned up, but you know, he was able to deny some mining time both in the main and the natural, and he needs to get whatever he can in this situation. So yeah, props to him. Oh god, but can he actually take this? The tank gets exposed.
We shall see. The tank is very exposed. Another tank in the high ground though does shell away at a couple of these stalkers. Not too many of them being taken out, but Zest is continuing to warp in more and more to keep up this contain. 2 tanks and a bunch of Marines here, and especially that Raven should just about put the end to this contain, but Zest is squeezing out as much value from it as he can. Did not opt for the Twilight Council, I don't think. No, he did not. So these Stalkers are not going to have any blink. These Zealots are not going to have any charge.
But you know what? Now we do have some Zealots and even Adepts joining the fray, and Zest, he's pushing on forward.
Indeed he is. Cure needs to target fire as best he can with the tanks. Looks like the bio might be a little bit too much, but no, never mind. Never underestimate Stalkers over here. But he bought enough time for the tanks to shell away. GG's call. Cure. Everything looked terrible for him at the start. Like, it really did. But those mines prevented so much mining. Zest decided, you know what? Gloves are off. We do not go to the mid game. And now he's on match point, Curious.
Yeah, that he is. Really interesting decision there because, fun fact, Zest was on 2 Nexuses. Zest had the worker advantage as well.
He was.
But yeah, I guess he overcommitted to that attack. It's also possible. I know he made a War Prism. I don't know if he accidentally lost the War Prism. That could have been a part of it as well. But yeah, just opted to tap out.
He really is patient.
Huh. Interesting. Interesting that he didn't want to play out that game.
I guess it was also a little bit of tunnel vision towards the end, right? Zest,
Yeah.
I think, has displayed pretty recently that if he thinks there's a way to end the game, then he will go for it and sacrifice, other aspects of his play.
Mm-hmm.
But when he miscalculates and this sort of stuff happens, he is forced to tap out. But we can theorize for as long as we really want to, because now we're on what could possibly be the final game of the evening. Down here in the bottom left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner of Pillars of Gold, LE, holding up the rest of the current map pool, also LE. We have the red Terran player coming down from the land of South Korea, looking very likely to win his, I believe, 3rd or 4th ESL Open Cup Asia Championship. He hasn't been into finals for a while. He hasn't won one of these in a while. If he can do it now, then it is going to be a great omen for the start of ESL Pro Tour 2021/2022 season. He is representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, DPG. We have Cure.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Pillars of Gold LE, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing also Dragon Phoenix Gaming, DPG. As these are teammates, it is Zest.
Not one to end at all in the proxy here, Curious. Still building up just back at home. Not skipping a Reaper this time. Hello!
He's crazy. He's a madman. He's actually going for the Reaper this game. I think Zest wins.
I don't know about this, yeah.
Oh god, oh god.
It's so unheard of.
It's unseen, mate. It just hasn't happened whatsoever on the broadcast today.
Who builds a Reaper first, am I right?
Madness. Oh boy. And Zest, mate, he's got the denial on the Reaper cliff.
Oh my god, that's GG.
Oh boy, oh boy. As we are getting into the swing of things here in game number 4, and Cure, as you said, he's on match point. Just needs one more win. Oh, could be
potentially 3 racks. Okay, he's sticking on 1 gas at the moment, which does make me think it's gonna be 3 racks. There's just not enough gas for a 2-on-1.
Yeah. He is throwing down the bunker, and there is the 3rd racks being thrown down, and now it is on Zest. This time it is on Zest to try and get some scouting information. He does have an Adept out on the map, which is quite nice. You know, he should be able to send it across eventually, but it's kind of unlikely for it to really get into the main base. Ooh, but Zest this time opening up with the Stargate.
What? Who opens a Stargate?
How many oracles?
I'm thinking Phoenix, actually.
Yeah. Phoenix is the more standard thing to do. Like, it does really well against these kind of aggressive, like, tank pushes, but there we go. Oracle first.
Yeah, at least 1 Oracle is going to be made here. Zest really enjoying the unit in today's tournament.
2 or 3 or 4.
How crazy does this want to be? I feel like making oracles against a Terran player is a lot more. It's just a lot more risk reward, right? Committing to oracles against a Terran player. Either you run them into Marines and they just get immediately taken out, or they didn't invest too much in their anti-air, and you can find these little kind of angles where you can destroy the mineral line. So really, how crazy does this want to be? Not crazy at all, as he pauses his oracle production and goes right for the Phoenixes, which unfortunately that'd be really good for a tank push, but it is a 3 racks.
That it is, and that's why it's so important that the Oracle was able to dive in, and he does see all the production, and with that information does slowly chip away at one of the SCVs.
You gotta target it down, Zest! And he does get it, delays that starport for quite some time, gets 2 of these SCVs that are building it. Very nicely done here.
Oh, nicely done indeed. So he doesn't just delay the starport isn't even being made right now.
Oh, Cure.
Oh,
There's
no.
a misclick going on right now. He wanted to swap the add-ons over so he could pump out those medevacs and just hit him with a stim push with no factory units, but this is hurting. This is definitely hurting.
And now the onus is on Zest. Like, he needs to muster a defense. He has all the information he needs. He knows that this push is coming. But we've seen him time and time again. We've seen him play like Patience a little bit, you know, where he doesn't get the defenses that he needs, and despite seeing it, he just isn't prepared for it.
Yeah. Gonna get more done here with his Oracle.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, I mean, thankfully he does dive in, and like, he tags, so he should be aware when the medevacs do pop out. And Zest, okay, he is respecting his opponent. He's throwing down some shield batteries for defense.
Nicely done over here. He's working on his own upgrades, not being overly greedy, I would say. Doesn't want to, he doesn't want to overreact to what's coming his way. He knows that, as long as he's able to position his units correctly, he will be fine. He's been able to get such a delay on his opponent's push. But again, don't want to underestimate your teammates now.
Exactly, and what's important is that the Reaper did just scout the mass Phoenix, or at least 5 Phoenixes. So Cure is aware, and he should be babysitting his medevacs just that little bit, and make sure they don't get picked off.
Yeah, very nice hold position on the medevacs, letting the Marines stem on forward and chip away a little bit at the Phoenixes. But now Cure is sort of taking a suboptimal rush route. And again, Zest just buying more time back at home. His charge is going to get up. He's going to have his forge finishing. If he wanted to, he could get some cannons, but pretty sure he's just going to use it for upgrades for the time being.
Yeah, that he is. He just continues to warp in more and more Zealots. Zealot Phoenix are what you need to just completely shut this down. Oh, it looks like Cure, he could be setting up to go into the main.
Yeah, or at least you power a couple of these buildings. And again, gotta be so careful with the medevacs over here. The Phoenix is coming in to try to snipe him out, but not gonna be quite enough. And this push, completely running out of steam for Cure. He needs to work on his next phase of the game. Immediately throws down the Ghost Academy and 2 more axes. You'll love to see it.
Oh my, interesting that his response is to throw down more production, not a 3rd base. He's like, we're gonna keep going with this, mate.
More. Yeah, when your opponent is ahead, don't try to even out.
Yeah, well, I mean,
where it hurts.
Exactly. Just commit, mate. That's what you gotta do, and that's exactly what he is doing, as Ghost production has already started. EMPs are gonna be key here when it comes to, not just hitting the Zealots, but also these Phoenixes, so they've run out of energy.
Absolutely. To be fair, not too much here to really crowd control for Cure. He is opting for Widow Mines as opposed to tanks, but honestly, at a bit of the early game, when there's not a lot of mines out, it is absolutely key to just lift them up, especially when you're going for charge lots. Don't want to let them land whatsoever. Phoenix should be able to pounce, but just being careful.
Ooh.
1 medevac will taken out.
That it will. Meanwhile, the rest of Zest's army is out here posturing in the center of the map, looking to try and catch part of that fragmented army, but Cure does bring it all together, and boy oh boy, that is a lot of Widow Mines.
Oh, wow. They There's no armory here. Like,
No armory, but you know what? There is that factory with that reactor just continuing to pump out more and more of those widow mines. And yeah, again, like this army is gonna hit hard, right? Like, especially if the widow mine shots hit, especially if the EMPs land as well. Like, there's so much DPS potential here. But Zest, he's just so on point when it comes to tagging this army. Oh my god, he's taking a fourth.
that Cure has no idea about. +1 armor is going to finish up, complementing that +1 weapons that Cure has gotten. He's going to have a very nice upgrade lead from on Zest for a little while, but again, doesn't have an armory. He cannot continue those upgrades.
I'm just really worried that Zest isn't respecting this. We'll see, because Cure does have, he does miss EMP, but Cure does have the upgraded advantage. Like, Zest maybe being a little bit greedy, expanding as aggressively as he is.
Trying to borrow the mines where the EMP's not quite there, but the mines, most of them do measure borrow, and that's a no man's land. Like, the bio gets completely on top of a lot of his productions, right into that main base. Beautiful EMP on top of the Phoenixes, the Zealots, like!
Oh god, the Zealots, they do all rush into the minefield. Meanwhile, EMPs land on every single Archon and Mate. It's a meat grinder, GG!
Worst possible, best possible fight Cure could have taken on such a knife's edge. GG is called. GG, Cure is going to be your first ESL Open Cup champion of the 2021/22 season.
So, I'm not
sure if you can really call it the season since there's no EPT points, but
I'm not laying out accusations here, but I didn't see Patience sign up today.
That's what. Yeah, I didn't see that on a bracket. Honestly.
I didn't see him on the bracket. That could have been Patience playing, because, mate, what just happened was Zest was so active with his oracles and his phoenixes, he kept tagging the army. He just kept tagging it, and the production as well. Like, he had a pretty good, solid idea of what was coming his way. He's like, oh my god, this guy's on 2 bases. He's throwing down more production. He's got like mines. He tagged the widow mines, if you remember, right? When you pointed out that there was no armory. He saw all the widow mines. He's like, man, I'm gonna take a fourth. Like, what? Like, what? Solid question mark there, right? Like, he sees everything. He's like, man, now's a pretty good time to expand. I'm like, oh my god, that's such a Patience move. And GG, well played. Cure does take it with very solid play. Like, no gripes with Cure. Cure played his heart out. Just questionable there by Zest.
Yeah, absolute knife's edge every time. Cure.
Yeah.
He is a committed player. He puts all his chips on the table. He has to nail it perfectly, or we get something like a game number 1.
Yeah, exactly.
In this case, he was able to do it.
He was. I do think that either part of it could be Zest just being overconfident and just not respecting Cure.
Definitely.
Yeah, just not respecting Cure as much as he should.
I gotta say that group stage where I am, that is off our NDA. So yeah, that's saying, Cure, you didn't even make it out of your group, man.
That's what I mean. Like, Zest knows that he's the favorite player, and maybe he needs to be knocked down a peg or two, Because to be fair, Zest had an amazing performance this weekend, and now he just walks up to this weekly, and he's like, yo, I'm just gonna breeze through this, and I'm gonna have a couple of drinks. I'm gonna play with one hand, like.
I won the last 2, I want to say, ESL Asia Cups, and I won the last ESL NA Cup, so this is my territory.
Yeah.
You really want to engage me here, Cure?
He's like, what? Come at me. And then he came, and he's like, oh my gosh. Like, stop.
Oh, he called my bluff.
He called my bluff, mate. Ay. GG, well played. Congratulations, Cure, for playing so well. And again, especially because Terran performance here in ESL Asia, in ESL Open Cup Asia, just isn't really there. We don't have too many Terran participants, let alone champions. So it's even bigger for Cure for that reason.
Yeah, it's one of those things where when it comes to Zerg, a lot of the top Korean Zerg players you see play every now and then. Every now and then you'll see Dark or Rogue. Solar is very consistent in these. For Protoss, Stat, Zest, and Trap, they are always here. But for Terran, Cure is pretty inconsistent with signing up, as is Dream. TY I
Bunny.
think signed up once and then never did again. Yeah, Bunny is also a little bit inconsistent there.
Yeah, it's basically all
And
like
I'm pretty sure Innovation just doesn't know it exists.
It's basically all like the quote unquote mid-tier Koreans in Korea, right? Where it's like Cure, Bunny, Dream, like they're the ones that really show up for
every
this.
now and then.
Beyond's probably the highest profile player. Like players like Innovation, TY, and Maru. For whatever reason, like this just, I don't know, maybe they're busy on Monday. And so like it just really isn't something that they show up for. So
yeah, so it's really great that we are able to start our post Katowice ESL Open Cups with a Terran champion over here. Now I have a question for you, Light.
Yeah.
Is us gonna sign up for ESL NA tomorrow morning?
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. Speaking of ESL NA, if we have a look at that schedule, we will be back. We will be live in, I believe, 11 hours tomorrow morning with ESL Open Cup Americas. I will be casting that alongside Milk and Cookies. So if you want some more StarCraft action, we will be live with that. And as Yaku just alluded to, there are typically a handful of Korean players that sign up for ESL Americas. Usually Zest wakes up in the morning and signs up and plays in it. Armani, as well as Solar and Parting. Those are probably the biggest names that you will most likely see there. And they usually duke it out in the semis or in the finals against each other. So yeah, if you want more of that Korean StarCraft action, if you haven't had enough of it today, you have more of it tomorrow.
Indeed we do.
And with that, after a very interesting, entertaining, lovely night of ESL Open Cup Asia, we have finished the tournaments for the evening. And with that, Yaku,
Could have ended it shorter, but you know,
we could have, but you know, I feel like at least Cure got something for waiting for that long. You know,
he did. Now he can go back to watching K-dramas.
That he can. And speaking of K-dramas, Yaku, where can people find more of you?
Not on Korean television. I'm pretty sure that's just for Aries at the moment. But twitch.tv/Yakuzaku1. I got a couple of stuff from Humble Bundle or Humble Monthly that I might check out on stream, but no promises I'm making over there. Twitter.com @Empora Yakuzaku. Twitch. I already said that. ! Discord in the chat. You can find myself as well as the other members of the CranKy Ducklings hanging about there. By the way, if you do jump into there at Queen Elix, wish her a happy birthday. And apart from that, buy my shorts. We can hit you, Light.
Light_VIP on Twitch and Twitter if you want to follow me. I do stream occasionally throughout the week. I do also do a couple of behind the scenes streams, work on editing VODs for the CranKy Ducklings or thumbnails, scheduling tweets as well, as I'm also part of a couple of other projects like SC2 Birthdays and StarCraft Esports on Twitter and Facebook. But more importantly, like sure you can support me there, but more importantly support the CranKy Ducklings. Like we are here live throughout the week with plenty of StarCraft. We've got Korean StarCraft, North American, South American, Oceanic, Southeast Asian, anything and everything except for European. Because it's just a bad
manpower.
Rip manpower. It's just at a bad time for us. But yeah, support us however you can if you enjoyed the broadcast. You know, we're on all the social medias. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, so you can follow us there for whenever we go live or whenever we post results from our events. You can follow us or subscribe to our YouTube channel where all of our VODs are posted. So if you can't tune into some of this live, then you can tune into the VODs if you're interested in the event. And you can check us out on Discord, as Yaku said, where we are all hanging out. We jump in on voice calls. We have some viewer parties. We have some dojos or some practice sessions. But yeah.
Well, we say practice sessions, but it's usually getting yelled at sessions. Well, I'm getting yelled at sessions.
Like, if you want to get yelled at, then that's the place to go.
If you want to yell at me,
there you go.
Sub. While I ride a bike.
Exactly. And on top of that, finally, the last thing is !Patreon in the chat. You can also support us there via Patreon monetarily. We do provide replay packs to all of our Patreons and subscribers from almost all the events that we cover. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, then that is available to you as well. And with that, Yaku, do you have anything you want to say?
please save me from management classes.
Please save him. Someone save him. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in today. We will see you tomorrow in 11 hours. Something that we're not casting, but I should also bring up, ESL Open Cup EU for Europa, the European players, is in 4 hours. So you have 4 hours to kind of rest up, have some food, hydrate your hydras, and then you can get into some more lovely StarCraft. And with that,
It's coming in.
yeah, we're done for the day. Thanks for watching, everyone. Ciao.
Bye, Bella.